You're listening to the CyberWire Network, powered by N2K.
N2K has teamed up with AWS to bring you AWS in Orbit, a groundbreaking new series that explores the impact of space technology, cloud computing, and generative AI. Hi, I'm Maria Varmazes, and in this series, I speak with industry leaders to give you a nuanced understanding of how these technologies are revolutionizing sectors like sustainability, critical infrastructure, and cybersecurity. So if you're drawn to big ideas and are curious how space and cloud technologies are impacting life here on Earth, this series is for you. Follow the T- Space Daily podcast to catch every episode of AWS in Orbit and visit space.n2k.com/AWS to stay ahead of the curve.
From dozens of spreadsheets and screenshots to fragmented tools and manual security reviews, managing the requirements for modern compliance and security programs is increasingly challenging. Vanta is the leading trust management platform that helps you centralize your efforts to establish trust and enable growth across your organization. Over 6,000 companies partner with Vanta to automate compliance, strengthen security posture, streamline security reviews, and reduce third-party risk. CyberWire Daily listeners can get $1,000 off Vanta by going to vanta.com/cyber. That's VANTA.com/cyber. A cyber attack on Ukraine's largest telecom operator. Ukraine claims a hit on Russia's tax service, while the fate of the ALPHV BlackCat group remains shrouded in mystery. The Air Force disciplines members over a classified documents breach, and Apple releases urgent security updates. From Spain, a significant arrest in the Kelvin Security hacking group. On today's Industry Voices segment, my conversation with Andre Durand, CEO and founder of Ping Identity, on digital experiences, brand trust, and loyalty, plus a cautionary tale about burning bridges. It's Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. I'm Dave Bittner, and this is your CyberWire Intel Briefing. Ukraine's largest telecom operator, Kyivstar, faced a cyber attack on Tuesday, leaving millions of customers without cellular and internet service. The trouble started early in the morning, with Kyivstar later announcing via Facebook what they called a powerful cyber attack, causing significant technical failures. However, they assured that customer data remained secure. Despite efforts, services remained disrupted into Tuesday afternoon, with uncertainty about when normal operations would resume. The incident is currently under investigation by Ukraine's state cybersecurity agency and CERT-UA. VEON, Kyivstar's parent company, confirmed the attack in a news release. Internal sources revealed that the attack compromised parts of Kyivstar's systems, leading to a decision to shut down systems to contain the damage. This disruption prompted many Ukrainians to switch to alternative mobile carriers like Vodafone and LifeCell, causing network congestion. The attack likely targeted Kyivstar's core network, essential for regional connectivity and traffic routing. The cyber attack's ripple effect was felt beyond telecoms, with Privatbank and Monobank reporting operational disruptions due to their reliance on Kyivstar's network. Kyivstar's service outage also impacted air raid alert systems in the Kyiv region, compelling authorities to resort to loudspeakers for warnings. The suspected perpetrator of the attack is believed to be Russian intelligence. with Ukraine's security service, the SBU, launching criminal proceedings on charges including high treason and sabotage. The incident underscores the ongoing cyber warfare between Ukraine and Russia, with both sides experiencing significant attacks on their telecom and internet infrastructure. In other news from the region, Ukraine's military intelligence service, the GUR, claims to have successfully executed a cyber attack against Russia's Federal Tax Service. According to Interfax and the GUR, the attack infiltrated a key central server of the FTS and over 2,300 regional servers across Russia, including Crimea. The cyber attack deployed malicious software, resulting in the complete destruction of configuration files vital for the tax system's operation. This included the elimination of the entire database and its backups. The attack has effectively paralyzed communication between the FTS's central office in Moscow, its territorial administrations, and a data center crucial for tax services. This operation signifies a major disruption in Russia's tax system infrastructure. Recent reports about the takedown of servers used by the ALPHV BlackCat ransomware group remain unconfirmed. Computing observed that the gang's dump site has been offline for 5 days. SC Magazine's efforts to verify the situation with law enforcement agencies yielded no confirmation. VX Underground shared a message from ALPHV citing hardware failure as the reason for the downtime, though they noted having heard similar claims in the past. VX Underground believes ALPHV may indeed be facing server issues but cannot confirm this. They also clarified that there are no rumors or evidence regarding the arrest of ALPHV members or seizure of their servers. The legitimacy of these claims remains unsubstantiated due to the lack of concrete evidence. Cloudflare's 2023 year in review revealed 180 internet outages, many directed by governments. Notable examples include prolonged shutdowns in Manipur, India, and Amhara, Ethiopia, lasting over 7 and 4 months, respectively. Iraq also experienced frequent shorter outages to prevent academic exam cheating, particularly during June to August. Additionally, the report identified the 2 most prevalent threats of the year as malicious links and extortion attempts via phishing emails. Separately, a joint report by BitSite and Google on the Minimum Viable Secure Product Framework assessed cybersecurity controls across industries. It found that while most industries passed 10 of the 16 MVSP controls, critical failings persist in areas like self-assessment, dependency patching, vulnerability prevention, and timely vulnerability resolution. This highlights ongoing challenges in cybersecurity readiness across various sectors. The Air Force has disciplined 15 members of Airman First Class Jack Teixeira's chain of command following a security breach where Teixeira, a 21-year-old National Guardsman, removed and posted classified information online. The investigation revealed that Teixeira was observed accessing intelligence beyond his role on 4 occasions, but his supervisors failed to report these incidents promptly. This lack of action allowed Teixeira to continue his unauthorized disclosures for several months. The investigation highlighted inadequacies in workspace inspections, inconsistent reporting of security breaches, and a general lack of supervision and understanding of access to sensitive information. The 102nd Intelligence Support Squadron was specifically criticized for creating confusion over access to classified material in its intelligence briefings. Teixeira, who maintained computer systems that stored sensitive information, faces 6 federal criminal charges under the Espionage Act and has pleaded not guilty. The incidents leading to his arrest included him accessing top-secret websites and posting classified information on a Discord server. The investigation found that the intelligence oversight program within Teixeira's wing was compliant but lacking, with many airmen not completing necessary training and supervisors failing to enforce reporting violations. The 102nd Intelligence Surveillance and Reconnaissance Group, Teixeira's unit, is no longer handling sensitive information. Apple has released emergency security updates to address two actively exploited zero-day vulnerabilities in older iPhone models going back to the iPhone 8, as well as some Apple Watch and Apple TV models. These vulnerabilities, discovered in the WebKit browser engine, could allow attackers to access sensitive data and execute arbitrary code through malicious web pages. The patches, improving input validation and locking, are included in the latest updates for iOS, iPadOS, tvOS, and watchOS. Discovered by Clement Lessing from Google's Threat Analysis Group, these flaws have been actively exploited, leading to the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency instructing federal agencies to patch their devices. This brings Apple's total number of patched zero-day vulnerabilities to 20 for the year. The Spanish National Police have apprehended a key leader of the Kelvin Security hacking group, known for orchestrating over 300 cyber attacks across 90 countries since 2020. The arrest announcement highlights the group's focus on critical infrastructure and government institutions, with notable attacks in Spain, Germany, Italy, Argentina, Chile, Japan, and the United States. Kelvin Security, active since 2013, has exploited public-facing system vulnerabilities to steal user credentials and confidential data. The group's activities included selling or freely leaking stolen data on hacking forums like raid forums and breach forums. Significant breaches by Kelvin Security include attacks on Vodafone Italia and U.S. consulting firm Frost & Sullivan. Additionally, recent findings link Kelvin Security to Ares, a cybercrime platform trading databases from state organizations. Spanish police, coordinating with multiple units and the Alicante prosecutor's office, began investigating the group in December 2021. The Venezuelan national arrested was primarily engaged in laundering criminal proceeds from data sales, utilizing cryptocurrency exchanges. The arrest led to the seizure of electronic items for forensic analysis, potentially uncovering more information about the group's network and operations. Coming up after the break, my conversation with Andre Durand, CEO and founder of Ping Identity, on digital experiences. Stay with us. It's that time of year to start thinking about your New Year's resolutions and what you're hoping to achieve next year. As you start setting those 2024 goals, professional certifications should be part of your plan. Starting today, N2K is offering our full catalog of certification practice tests for just $39 each. Choose from our extensive library of certification titles from leading vendors like AWS, CompTIA, Microsoft, Cisco, and more. With over 25 years of experience in exam preparation, N2K has helped hundreds of thousands of security students and professionals feel exam ready. Visit n2k.com/certify to view our practice tests and get started today. That's n2k.com/certify. And now, a word from our sponsor, SpyCloud, the cybercrime analytics leader. SpyCloud disrupts cybercrime by telling you what criminals know about your business and your customers, so you can take action to prevent ransomware, session hijacking, account takeover, and online fraud. SpyCloud constantly recaptures and analyzes new data from the criminal underground, including credentials, session cookies, and PII siphoned from malware-infected devices. With knowledge of the specific exposed data criminals have in hand from InfoStealer malware on managed and unmanaged devices, security teams can respond with a more efficient and effective process called post-infection remediation that fits seamlessly into existing incident response frameworks. Get SpyCloud's post-infection remediation guide outlining the 7 steps for preventing a malware infection from becoming a full-blown ransomware incident. Visit spycloud.com/cyberwire. That's spycloud.com/cyberwire. And we thank SpyCloud for sponsoring our show.
And now, a word from our sponsor. The Johns Hopkins University Information Security Institute is currently seeking qualified applicants for its innovative Master of Science in Security Informatics degree program. Study alongside world-class interdisciplinary experts and gain unparalleled educational, research, and professional experience in information security and assurance. Want to see for yourself? Student researchers will be presenting their capstone projects on December 13th and 15th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on JHU's Homewood campus. For more information about their projects and the MSSI program, visit isi.jhu.edu.
Andre Durand is CEO and founder of Ping Identity, a company that provides secure employee and customer experiences online. In this sponsored Industry Voices segment, Andre Durand shares insights from Ping's own research on digital experiences. You know, I could say personally, and I think lots of people have experienced this, there is a wide spectrum of experiences out there when it comes to dealing with organizations online. Can you give us an idea of that spectrum from your point of view? What represents a good experience and what represents one that's going to lead to frustration?
Well, I'll start with the registration experience. Today, I would say the registration experience to create a new account, establish a relationship with a company does vary widely. You will find companies that kind of the old school method of doing that was, here's a form, tell us everything you can about us, and we'll create an account for you. And so that included everything ranging from your username and password that you typically type in twice to other information about you, where both the email address and phone number then need to get verified before the account gets created. And those experiences have historically, been kind of fraught with friction, if you will, especially if you're typing on a phone, you're registering with a phone. The more modern way of doing that in the last maybe 4 or 5 years is what we refer to as progressive profiling. So rather than ask for everything up front, it's just, hey, you want to create an account? What's your email address and password? And we are on the cusp of a new method. We have not seen this at large, but the technology is now here, where it is possible for an individual to, in essence, store their verifiable identity on their phone, is what we call a digital credential. And when you hit a registration screen in the future, rather than type anything at all, you would simply say, scan a QR code, share that information, call it automagically, if you will, through the QR code between your phone and the website that you're interacting with, and you'll have an account. So we've been moving from, high friction, if you will, to establish trust through the registration process as a consumer to one in which, it's quite a bit more frictionless. Look, the perfect interaction, the best interactions require what we call low cognitive load, if you will. So they're just kind of seamless and fast versus the ones where we get stuck, if that makes sense.
And I suppose if I'm an online retailer, I want to reduce that friction as much as possible. I don't want to give my consumer time to have second thoughts.
That's exactly correct. And it's not just at the new account creation or what we call registration phase where frustration hits. And a lot of people abandon that. But on a repetitive basis, once you've created the account, logins can also be fairly friction prone, if you will. And especially, it's true with passwords. We're all advised to use unique and strong passwords. And so unless you have, say, a password manager, doing that is challenging. Obviously, requires a lot of cognitive load. And again, for long, strong passwords on a mobile phone, that's not a great login experience. That also is going through a bit of a renaissance right now as we move towards passwordless. And this notion called passkeys, which is this concept that your phone can store these keys that are essentially long numbers, but you don't have to remember anything. And in subsequent logins, once you kind of establish, the key, if you will, that opens up a website, all you have to do is your Face ID, in essence. So your biometric is used to share these very long, very strong keys that are stored on your mobile phone. And from a user experience point of view, all you had to do was the Face ID. So it's a very strong, phishing resistant way to authenticate, and it's a much better experience. So it's kind of the holy grail that we seek, which is both higher security and less friction.
I know you and your colleagues there at Ping have gathered some interesting information when it comes to people's digital experiences here. What are some of the items that caught your eye?
So, we broke the survey up into several categories, but it was obvious that a few themes emerged. Number one is that the login and registration experience really does matter. There is a fickleness with as much choice as we have online. You might as well say competitors are measured in keystrokes in the online world, right? Which is milliseconds, not miles. And so a frustrating login experience sets the tone for what the rest of the experience is going to look like. Over 60% of consumers said that they've stopped using an online service due to frustration with the login process. I mean, that's just massive. 65% said that they would be willing to switch to a comparable brand if it offered a passwordless experience. So you can't underestimate how significant the friction is to, in essence, establish an online connection with a third party and keep it secure. So everything related to brand loyalty as related to the login and identity experience, there was a tight correlation there. The second thing that really stood out was that consumers are definitely concerned about the safety of their identity. They do not have high trust that corporations in general are going to be good stewards of identity information that could be leaked in a breach. There have just been too many breaches over the years. They do appreciate, even though it does include a little bit more friction, they do appreciate companies that offer higher levels of security, such as two-factor authentication and others. They are willing to put up with a little bit more friction if in return they feel as if the company that they're interacting with does value their privacy, values their security, and offers the security that they feel is appropriate. So there just was a very, very kind of high, correlation, if you will, of the intersection of, we say, of ease of use, desire for ease of use, and willingness to change if ease of use was not there, combined with concern around their security and is their data being protected and is the company being a good steward.
So the folks that you work with who are finding success here, what are the common elements? What are the things that you consider to be best practices?
The companies that are actively pursuing the intersection of seamless experience and security, not one or the other, but both at the same time, those are the companies that are pushing the boundaries of what's possible here. And you'll find companies where it's all about the user experience and security is a secondary priority. Others that security is the primary priority, user experience takes second. And neither one of those are wrong, they're just not complete. And so the companies that are having the best experience are the ones that, like I said, are pushing the boundaries of passwordless. They're pushing the boundaries of new technology that allow customers and consumers to, in essence, register a new account without filling out a form to do so. They are pushing the boundaries of leveraging risk and fraud signals to strengthen authentication and reduce fraud without the user actually ever having to do anything. It's all behind the scenes and under the covers.
That's Andre Durand, CEO and founder of Ping Identity. And finally, Miklos Daniel Brody, a former cloud engineer at First Republic Bank, received a 2-year prison sentence and a restitution order of $529,000 for his destructive farewell gift to his ex-employer. Brody's vengeful coding spree was triggered by his firing for violating company policies, which included using a USB drive containing pornography on company computers. Post-dismissal, Brody went on a digital rampage, deleting the bank's code repositories, erasing logs, inserting taunts in the code, impersonating colleagues, and even emailing himself proprietary code. His digital tantrum included running a script named dar.sh to wipe the bank's servers and meddling with the bank's GitHub repository. Caught in his web of lies, Brody falsely reported his work laptop stolen and maintained this story even when interrogated by the Secret Service until his arrest in March 2021. In April 2023, he pleaded guilty to lying and 2 counts of violating the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. His sentence also includes 3 years of supervised release. So much for Leave No Trace. Brody left enough digital footprints to warrant a virtual marathon and a real-world sentence. And that's the CyberWire. For links to all of today's stories, check out our daily briefing at thecyberwire.com. We'd love to know what you think of this podcast. You can email us at cyberwire@n2k.com. We're privileged that N2K and podcasts like the CyberWire are part of the daily intelligence routine of many of the most influential leaders and operators in the public and private sector, as well as the critical security teams supporting the Fortune 500 and many of the world's preeminent intelligence and law enforcement agencies. N2K Strategic Workforce Intelligence optimizes the value of your biggest investment, your people. We make you smarter about your team while making your team smarter. Learn more at n2k.com. This episode was produced by Liz Irvin. Our mixer is Trey Hester with original music by Elliot Peltzman. Our executive producers are Jennifer Iben and Brandon Karp. Our executive editor is Peter Kilpie, and I'm Dave Bittner. Thanks for listening. We'll see you back here tomorrow.